Hello everyone. The most important message that I want to convey you today, that stay home and stay safe. But we cannot miss our studies too. So through these online classes, we are going to cover few important topics. Welcome to class 6 and I'm your social science teacher. My name is Aman Juneja. Till now in class 5, you were studying EVS. That was the combination of science and social science. But in class 6 onwards, we have science as a separate subject and social science as a separate subject. In social science, we are going to have 3 subtopics, that is history, civics and geography. And today in this class, we are going to cover our chapter number 1 of history. The name of the chapter is What, Where, How and When. As you can simply see these words and get the meaning or get the understanding that what was there in the past, where it was, how it was and when it was, right? Before we start with this chapter, go ahead with the further topic. Let's start with an introductory example. You and your parents, they are familiar with the terms aeroplane, rocket, helicopter. Your grandparents, they were familiar with the terms trains, buses, cars. Your great-grandparents, they were more familiar with the terms bullock carts, etc. Right? So you can see how things have evolved with time, how development has taken place from the bullock cart to the trains and buses, from the trains and buses, aeroplanes, rockets, universe. We have explored so much in the present. Things have changed so much. So all these changes which have taken place, that have taken place with time. Time from the past to the present. So time is the very, very important term. This timeline, basically, the study of this timeline is the study of history. And first of all, in this first word, what are we going to cover in this? Whenever we think about our past, so many questions come in our mind. Like people in the past, what they must be eating, where they lived, how they lived, where they travel, how they went from one place to another. All these questions keep on revolving in our mind. And sometimes we really want to know about all this. We really want to have all these answers. So with the help of history, we are coming to these answers. We are going to conclude these answers with the help of this subject. What covers, as just I have told you, what kind of food they had, what kind of clothes they wore, and where they lived, what kind of place they used to live, right? All these things cover under what. Now, next is where. Where exactly they had their residence, where exactly they lived. Did they have any houses? Or did they build any houses? What kind of amenities they had in their houses? They were living simple or like us? We always have comparison in our mind. Next is how. How they lived, how they survived. They, like our parents, they went to office. We all do job. Some of them do business. Some of them are industrialists. But how they lived? What kind of occupation they had? This comes into our mind. And when? What was the date? Like today, as I tell you, we can easily simply see the calendar and tell the date. This is the date and my birthday is on this date, this month. I was born into this year. But how about these past dates? What kind of calendar they had? How they used to calculate all these dates and dates? So all these questions we are going to cover in this chapter, one by one. First, what, as I've told you about the food, clothes and their lifestyle, where they lived, they lived basically, most of the people in the past, what we have got information from our sources, they lived mostly near to the banks of the river. Now you can simply understand that why they must be living near to the banks of the rivers. Most important answer and obvious answer is they lived near to the banks of the rivers because of the water, the availability of the water. And water is very, very important in our lives. We cannot live without water. If we have surface to live, we need to have water also. We cannot live without, we have to drink water, we have so many things to do, we have to bathe, we have to wash our clothes, we have to grow crops with the help of water, we have to wash utensils, so many things that we do with the help of water. So they preferably chose to live near to the banks of the river. And how they used to travel from one place to another? They never had all these luxury cars, aeroplanes. They used to travel by foot. Initially, they used to travel by foot, and gradually they developed many things like bullock carts. They developed boats, waterways they used. And then when we are going to study about this, when the dates, what do we call these dates in the history, right? So all these topics basically tells us about the history. Today in this class, we are just concentrating on the meaning of these terms. And you also can go through all these meanings in your book also. Now you must be thinking that all of you, of course, many of you, I must say that, must not be having books with you. Some of you may have purchased, or some of you may have from your elder siblings. But if you don't have, don't worry students. We have PDF files for our chapters, and I'm going to attach those PDF files of your chapters with the assignment. You can simply download those PDF files and go through the chapters. For this topic, you need to download from the NCERT website, and of course I'm going to send you the link as well. From there, you need to study the first 2 pages of your chapter, and I'm going to give you the assignment also for the topic covered today, a small worksheet, and any doubts if you have, you can simply revert me back. Okay, tomorrow we are going to cover the next topic, the sources of the history from where we have come to know about all these things. Okay, thank you students. Stay safe.